Good evening, everybody. This is Meenal here, your mindset and wellness coach. And आज का topic is how do we overcome fear? हम डर को कैसे overcome कर सकते हैं? हम at some point or the other, हम सब ने डर को महसूस किया. We all have experienced this emotion of fear. So let us understand what is fear. होता क्या है ये? It is nothing but our response to some unforeseen event. जो हुआ नहीं है उसके बारे में हम सोच के कोई इमोशन क्रिएट करते हैं, डर क्रिएट करते हैं. So it's not definitely not a positive feeling, emotion, but yes, fear दोनों ही हो सकता है. It can be positive also and it can be negative also. Now आप बोलोगे how can fear be positive? Fear डर कभी positive हो सकता है? हो सकता है. Reason? Because डर जब भी हमें लगता है, अगर हम वो हमें ज्यादा cautious कर देता है. It makes us very cautious when you have some fear in you. That you have some fear which is associated to something that you are planning to do or you are intending to do. उसका थोड़ा fear होगा तो you will be little more careful before enacting that thing. And also wild animals ले लो आप. Suppose there is a street जहाँ पे बहुत सारे कुत्ते होते हैं. Like there are the place where I currently stay. There are so many dogs. So if you have that fear, तुम आराम से सोच समझ के जाओगे. So that fear is for protecting ourselves. हम हमारे खुद की बचाव के लिए होता है ना, वो fear positive होता है. But most of the time जो हम experience करते हैं या जो fear what we have to overcome is the negative fear. Now what a fear क्या होता है? It comes emotional. It is an emotion, as I said. It manifests. वो हमें physical form में भी manifest होता है, emotions में भी manifest होता है. फिजिकल में कैसे होता है? हमारे हाथ पैर ठंडे हो जाते हैं. We become very nervous when we are in fear. Also one thing one needs to understand is कि fear and excitement का जो response होता है हमारे body की तरफ से, the way our body responds to fear and excitement is the same. Have you ever experienced when you are planning to do something new? For example, if you're going to give a presentation or you have a sales meeting, or you're planning to meet somebody new for the first time, किसी को मिलने वाले हो, so you're nervous, you're excited. Excitement भी होती है, but so you have two ways. या तो आप उसको डर में convert करो या excitement में convert करो. Now what decides whether that emotion that you are going to face or you're facing or going to experience is going to be fear or excitement? We decide. How do we decide? हम कैसे decide करते हैं? जो हम थिंक करते हैं. लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल, एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल देती हूँ. सपोज आपको कहीं पे स्पीच देनी है ना, आपको स्टेज पे जाना है. बहुत सारे लोगों को ना स्टेज फियर होता है. तो स्टेज फियर क्या होता है? हाथ पैर ठंडे हो जाते हैं, पसीने छूट जाते हैं, राइट? मुझे भी होता है कभी कभी. इफ आई हैव टू एड्रेस पीपल लार्ज ऑडियंस, इफ आई हैव टू एड्रेस, मुझे भी पसीने आ जाते हैं. So, वो एक्साइटमेंट भी होता है कि इतने सारे लोगों को आज आप गोइंग टू एड्रेस, या एक नर्वसनेस होता है, मैं कर सकूंगी कि नहीं. सो स्टोरी तो अपनी है. मैं अपने आप को क्या बोलूंगी स्टेज पे जाके? आप अपने आप को क्या बोलोगे कि मैं कर सकूंगी, मुझे करना है? इफ दैट इज द थॉट दैट रन्स इन योर माइंड, तो वो एक्साइटमेंट होगा. यू विल बी मोर हैप्पी. आप बहुत अच्छे से परफॉर्म करोगे. आप जो भी बोलोगे कॉन्फिडेंस के साथ बोलोगे. और अगर आपने ऐसे सोचा कि नहीं, लास्ट टाइम भी मैंने प्रेजेंटेशन दिया था, वो गलत था, last time I tried doing something new, the previous occasion where I tried to do the same thing, it didn't went well. अगर ये thought अगर आपका हुआ तो you'll become nervous and you'll generate that fear syndrome. fear हो जाएगा, fearful हो जाओगे, डर जाओगे. तो वो ही बात है. तो हम fear create करें या excitement create करें, सारी चीजें हमारे हाथ में. So let's understand how we can do and how we can navigate. हमको navigate करना है. ये जो फियर का इमोशन है उसको हम एक्साइटमेंट में कैसे कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं? जब भी आपको कुछ नया करना हो, whenever you're planning to do something new or whenever you're experiencing this fear within you, fear of anything, starting new, meeting new people, it could be anything. So just stop and see what you're thinking. If you're thinking about the past failures or past events where you did not succeed, which is creating that negative emotion, stop there and think about the plus things or the plus points you did. When you start thinking on the positive lines, वो अपने आप excitement में convert हो जाता है. And let me tell you friends, एक बात तो है, the fear तो हर एक को experience करना ही होता है. It is inevitable. कोई ऐसा नहीं है जिसने फेलियर नहीं एक्सपीरियंस किया. तो अगर हमें फियर ऑफ फेलियर है तो वो हम उसको एलिमिनेट नहीं कर सकते हैं. फेलियर के लिए बोल रही हूँ। फेलियर तो हर एक के लाइफ में होता है। आज कोई भी सक्सेसफुल आदमी को ले लो आप, whoever is successful in life today, when you interact with them, you will come to know कि why are they different and why are they so successful in life? Because they don't fear failure. And why? Because failure is part and parcel. After 10 failures, you don't know, the 11th attempt would be a success. And between those 1 to 10 attempts, हम बहुत fear generate करते हैं, self doubt generate करते हैं, all these things happen. And at some point, people even intend to give up. But one needs to understand, without failing, you cannot succeed. तो अगर हम fear of failure को लेके बैठ जाएं और we don't get into action, we don't do anything just because we have the fear of failing, or कि हम नाकामयाब रहे तो, हमारे से ये बराबर से नहीं हुआ तो, ये सोच अगर हमारी हुई तो हम जिंदगी में कुछ कर ही नहीं सकेंगे। तो ये जो डर है ना, उसको हम अपने ऊपर हावी नहीं होने देना। सो whenever you have that fear thing coming up, surfacing in your, that emotion surfacing, you need to engage there. You engage with fear. When I say engage with fear is take control. Why is this thought coming? Why is this emotion coming? Have a dialogue internally. And take control. Okay, fear last, if something didn't go well last time, this time is a different thing. Every time is a new step and new day. When you engage yourself, you take charge of that situation, you take charge of that emotion as well. So that we have to practice. When you engage, you will definitely overpower the fear emotion that is bothering you at that point in time. दूसरी एक important बात क्या है कि fear जब भी आता है ना हमें, तो we just don't think about anything. तो अगर ऐसा कोई situation आ जाए कि when you're really fearful in front of 20-30 people, तो just calm down. Breathing, अपनी breathing पे आप focus कीजिए. Because breathing पे focus करोगे ना, तो अपने आप अगर past का कुछ सोच रहे हो या future का सोच के कुछ anxiety create कर रहे हो ना, तो वो अपने आप present moment पे जब भी आप आ जाओगे, तो एंजाइटी फियर अपने आप चला जाएगा वो, तो आपको ज्यादा कुछ करना नहीं पड़ेगा। और बहुत बार ये भी होता है, फियर क्या होता है, हमें प्रोटेक्ट करने को। जो सपोज आपने कुछ सोचा है कि यू आर प्लानिंग टू इन्वेस्ट समवेयर और प्लानिंग टू इन्वेस्ट इन बाइंग अ न्यू कार और न्यू प्रॉपर्टी, कुछ भी है, ह्यूज इन्वेस्टमेंट, सो यू हैव मेड दैट डिसीजन, बट व्हाट हैपेंस इज योर इंटरनल डायलॉग क्या होगा, ओके आई एम थिंकिंग ऑफ इन्वेस्टिंग सो मच ये नई गाड़ी में या नई प्रॉपर्टी में, what if I'm using all my savings, what will be the repercussion, what will happen to my family, my children, my spouse? I mean, these are contradicting ideas, don't you think? Once you've decided you're going to invest in a particular item, then why are these thoughts coming? Now, that is how a brain functions. It is trying to protect you. You don't take hasty decisions. But again, as I said, you have to be very clear in what you want and what you don't want in your life. So once you have that clarity, you don't have to really worry about the negative thoughts that are coming in, and they will not bother you anymore. That's how it works. As I said, fear and excitement show up in the same way. It is completely your choice how you want to respond and how you want to activate that feeling. And one more important thing is that, whenever you feel that you're in a situation where you're in your two minds, fear aa raha hai, to just think about it, that, what is it? Kya chal raha hai? What is the situation? Kya hai? What is the situation which is making you feel that way? Because हम बहुत बार ना इंटरप्रेट गलत कर लेते हैं। सिचुएशन कुछ होती है, हम उसका अलग मीनिंग लेके हम उसको फियर में कन्वर्ट कर देते हैं, हम वो नेगेटिव थॉट्स हम जनरेट कर लेते हैं। सो दैट इज वी नीड टू बी केयरफुल। और एक और चीज हमें आइडेंटिफाई करनी है, जब भी आपको ये डर का फीलिंग, when fear is overcoming you or overpowering you, what is the unhealthy thought or what is the irrational thought that is coming? जैसे मैंने बोला, वो गाड़ी खरीदनी है, then something will come up that what will happen to my family, what will happen to your children. Nothing is going to happen to your family and children, right? This is very irrational thinking. I mean, I wouldn't say protective, it is really irrational. You're buying the property or the car for your family, then why the thought is coming? Now this, ये जो आपका प्रोग्रामिंग है, प्रीवियस प्रोग्रामिंग है आपके ब्रेन का, सोचने का तरीका जिसे बोलते हैं, that is responsible for your thinking in this manner, right? So what maybe there is something that has happened in the past, something that you've witnessed has happened in your family or something, which is where you are creating those thoughts at that particular point in time and generating fear. So you need to take charge of that thought. You need to understand. I mean, okay, past programming was there based on something that I believe, something that happened in the past, but right now it's a different moment. ये नया दिन है, नया जगह है, नया पल है. So you cannot, the same thing will not replicate, right? So you just cannot succumb to this fear. Fear is something that will stop you from taking action and growing in life. अगर हम हर चीज से डरते रहेंगे तो हम ग्रो कैसे करेंगे? अभी आप you tell me one thing. These astronauts who go on aircraft, on airships and all, when they go moon पे जाते हैं, Mars पे जाते हैं, if they fear what will happen if we fly, if we get into those rockets and if we go into space, if they fear, do you think हम इतना discovery, इतना हम progress कर सकते थे? नहीं कर सकते थे ना. So you have to overcome that fear. वो उनको भी तो डर लगा होगा ना. Even they would have felt कि where are we going? But फिर भी डर के आगे ही जीत होती है, like how people say. And एक बात आपको पता है, fear कब तक होता है? Till what period you experience fear? You experience fear till the time you have not taken the action. Now, very beautifully, the mind works, Till the time you've not taken action, you will have that fear surging up or surfacing or bothering you and all. The minute you have decided to go take charge of your fear and get into action and do that particular task, what will happen is your mind will find out ways to implement and execute that thing, and you will successfully complete the task. So, what is the bottom line? इसका मतलब क्या होता है? Fear जभी तक हम नहीं करते हैं तभी तक ही होता है. Once you get into action, वो अपने आप चला जाता है. And fear is something that you should not be, really, people feel कि नहीं मुझे बहुत डर लगता है, डर के रहना चाहिए, and all those beliefs होते हैं बहुत लोगों के, थोड़ा डर के रहना चाहिए. I mean, that's really not required. डर क्यों चाहिए हमें? एक बात पूछो, क्यों हमें डर के जीना है? That doesn't mean कि आधी रात को आप चले जाओ, just wander around, वो भी नहीं है. But unnecessary चीजें, unnecessary thoughts या unnecessary जो हमारा past programming है, उसको लेके अगर कोई चीज या कोई प्रोग्रेस करने के लिए आपके ही थॉट्स रुकावट कर रहे हैं, स्टॉप कर रहे हैं, then that fear has to be overcome. जैसे मैंने बोला, सक्सेसफुल लोगों का एक ही फंडा होता है लाइफ में, वो कभी डरते नहीं है. They don't fear failure. And एक और बात I will want to highlight here is that most of the time we are not fear of the action. We don't have the fear of the action. We have fear of outcome of the action. जैसे I was working with somebody, that person would never post on social media. उनका profession तो ऐसा था which required so much of social media presence and all. But what was happening is she was just not able to post. And during the conversations, it came out that she was very confident, posts were very good, the creatives were good, the content was good. But the thought that if I post, what if people don't like my post? Then what? So the fear was not of the action, the fear was outcome of the action. So most of the time, हमारा fear वो ही होता है. It's not that we are scared to do any act or take any action. We are scared of the outcome of the action. What if people don't like? What if people don't approve of what I'm doing? Right? So you disassociate your action, outcome of the action from the action. When you do that, suppose let's go back to the same example of stage fear. You go to the stage, you have to deliver a dialogue, you have to talk something, or you have to give a presentation, or you're going for a sales meeting, whatever it is. If that is the action, and what is the outcome of the action? People may like, people may not like. Some people may walk out while you are talking on the stage. And if it's a sales pitch, you may not be able to close the deal, right? So outcome is not in your hand, action is in your hand. When you think about it, अगर आप ऐसे सोचोगे तो you will overcome your fear very easily. So just focus on the action and not on the outcome of action. And when you're in a situation, I'll give you some tools or some techniques how you overcome when you're on your own. whenever you experience that fear is overpassing you, your emotion, ask yourself, what is it that I'm really, really scared of? क्या है जिससे मुझे, what am I scared of? मुझे किस चीज का डर लग रहा है? When you get into the detailing, you will come to know. वो डर मुझे एक्शन का नहीं था, लोग क्या बोलेंगे उसका था, मेरी परफॉर्मेंस कैसी होगी उसका था, उसके रिजल्ट के बारे में सोच सोच के I had generated this fear syndrome, or I had generated this fear feeling in me. So that is, हमको बहुत ध्यान रखना है, एक्शन और आउटकम ऑफ एक्शन को डिसोसिएट करना है. सेकेंड क्वेश्चन यू कैन आस्क इज, ये जो डर है मेरे अंदर, इज इट रियल या मेरा खुद का बनाया हुआ? इज इट रियल और इज इट मेड अप? व्हाट एम आई feared of? What am I scared of? Is it real threat, or is it something that I have created? Is it something that I'm thinking what happened in the past is going to repeat? Is it my past programming that is stopping? Then you need to get yourself, convert yourself and change your mindset from limited to growth mindset. Now, growth mindset क्या होता है? It is nothing but being flexible and taking everything as a new opportunity. So whenever you come across that situation, ask yourself, what is it? अगर मैंने ये काम किया तो what is it that is going to happen? And जो पहले हुआ था वो जरूरी नहीं है. जब भी आप ये क्वेश्चन आप अपने आप को पूछोगे ना कि ये सच है या मैंने खुद, ये मेरा खुद का क्रिएशन है, तो जो भी इमोशन, whatever emotion we face today or we are experiencing in our life is our own creation. That whether it be anxiety, whether it be depression, whether it be fear, वो हमारा ही क्रिएशन है. And how do we create? Based on whatever dialogue जो चल रहा है हमारे, जो मन में हमारे thoughts चल रहे हैं, right? तो thoughts कैसे होते हैं? जो हमारा past experience है, लोगों ने हमें क्या किया, what did people tell me about, this situation? What is their experience? Like for example, if somebody has failed in attempting, like recently I read in some newspapers, JEE, some exams, some entrance exam में one boy, that happens very often, but I just happened to read one incident. Jaipur mein one boy committed suicide while he was preparing for the exam. See, exam dene ke baad, if the person feels that he has not done well and he commits suicide, wo suna hai maine, sabne suna hai. With this particular incident, I'm sure there will be many, but while the child was preparing for the exam, what was the thought? Definitely it was fear, right? वो डर गया होगा, किस चीज से डरा है वो हमें नहीं मालूम, which made him commit suicide. That's such a big thing, but that is what is happening across. तो ये what is it? उसको किस चीज का डर लगा होगा? Maybe his friends या लोगों ने बोला होगा this exam is not very easy. जो भी होगा, we don't know. He's not here with us to even share what he went through. But these are the situations where if such negative thoughts come, and you allow that negative emotion to have control in you, you may end up doing something that is really unpleasant and undesirous. So you have to be very careful about what you think and what is the pattern going on. ये हमें बहुत ध्यान रखना है, and especially बच्चों के साथ. I'm telling, I repeat, kids, बच्चे बहुत टेंडर होते हैं, बहुत इन्फ्लुएंस होता है उनको कोई भी एज के पढ़ाई को लेके. दिस इंसिडेंट रियली शुक मी अप कि एग्जाम नहीं दिया, प्रिपरेशन के टाइम पे उसे इतना डर लग गया कि कमिटेड सुसाइड. दैट्स वेरी सैड, बट यस, बच्चों के लिए व्हेन दे आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर द एग्जाम या कुछ भी हो, स्टडीज में अगर वो दे आर वीक एंड दे गेटिंग स्केयर्ड ना, एज पेरेंट्स इट इज आवर ड्यूटी टू टेल देम दैट ठीक है, डर, ट्राई एंड कन्वर्ट देयर डर इनटू एक्साइटमेंट. कि अभी नया पेपर है, just be excited, it's going to be new questions are going to come, उसको कैसे आंसर करेंगे based on whatever you have studied. ऐसे when you try and work with your children ना, during their exams especially, that will help them, and they will not get into that fear zone. And I really feel बच्चों के साथ you have to be really careful when it comes to studies, because उनकी जो patience और उनका जो tolerance level है ना, these days has really come down. And they are doing certain things which are not desirable. So that's the second question one needs to ask. And very important is, whenever you come across or whenever you face in a situation where you're really fearful, ask one question to yourself: what is the cost? What is it that if I accept this fear, if I accept this emotion of fear, what is it going to cost me? You understand? ये fear जो है उसको अगर मैंने एक्सपीरियंस किया, उसको अपने ऊपर हावी होने दिया, तो मुझे क्या क्या कॉस्ट करना पड़ेगा? व्हाट इज द कॉस्ट? अगर आपको एक्शन नहीं लेंगे, इफ यू डोंट टेक एक्शन बिकॉज यू सकम टू फियर, यू विल नॉट प्रोग्रेस. अगर आपने कुछ काम हाथ में लिया है करने के लिए और आप डर गए, वो नहीं कर सकते हो, ऐसा अगर आपने सोचा मुझे नहीं करना है या डर आ गया, you will not do, you will not take action. So what is it going to cost? It's going to cost you that same level. You will not grow, you will not progress. And what will be the repercussion if you don't progress in your life? The family will have to face that as well, right? Your spouse, your children, wherever. And if you're representing your company in a particular project or whatever, your company will have to face the repercussion. So whenever you come across a situation where you think, you know, you have become really fearful, these are the thoughts that come. When you're talking about fear as a thought when it comes, how do you counter? What are the questions you need to ask? First is what am I really afraid of? किस चीज से मुझे सच में डर लग रहा है? Is it the action or the result or the outcome of the action? Second is my fear real or is it my make-up story? Because there are so many stories we keep telling. The third is, what is the cost that I will pay if I give up to this fear? Something you're not going to grow, something you're not going to do. अगर डर गए तो कुछ नहीं करोगे, तो you're going to give up. And one more question you can ask is, what is the trigger? ये जब भी आपको, whenever in midst of something, you're doing something, life circumstances and everything is going on well, and when you just plan to take up something and suddenly that fear comes up. So what is the trigger? क्या हुआ कि मुझे ये fear generate हो गया? I have done these things in the past, but this time why this trigger? So you need to identify, you need to list down. ऐसा उस दिन क्या हुआ था कि मुझे वो ही काम करने से डर लग गया? Like for example, I'll tell you, even I had this fear of, you know, before I started these live sessions and all, a couple of years back, even I didn't know how will I appear, मैं कैसे बात करूंगी, and you know, होता है, inhibitions होते हैं. I'm not a very tech savvy person, so I had those inhibitions. So and एक हाथ बार क्या होता है, when you hear some really good speakers, बहुत सारे speakers हैं today. So when I listen to them, I would feel, oh, I'm not going to, कितना अच्छा बोलते हैं, how well they explain what they want to explain. So then that fear comes up. So when you start comparing, हमें compare नहीं करना है अपने आप को किसी से. अगर हम कुछ काम भी कर रहे हैं ना, तो हमें compare नहीं करना है. That person who delivered the same job was a different person. If you're doing the same thing, you're a different person, you will do it differently. If you compare, then the fear comes up. And then you will, you know, you will not want to take action. हम रुक जाते हैं वहीं पे कि हमें नहीं करना, हम नहीं कर सकेंगे. वो ही एक थॉट आ जाता है हमारे अंदर. So हमें, we don't have to get into that competition mode or comparison mode and all that. So to sum up is कि fear तो होगा ही, डर तो होगा ही. डर एक्शन का नहीं होता है, डर outcome of the action होता है, right? So वो हमें ध्यान रखना है. And we don't have to give up. हमें give up नहीं करना है. We have to just get into कि what is the dialogue, हम क्या सोच रहे हैं जिसकी वजह से ये हमारा डर का फीलिंग एक्सपीरियंस जो है वो जनरेट हो रहा है. हम उसको एक्साइटमेंट में कैसे कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं, वो उसके ऊपर हमें एम्फेसिस डालना है, राइट? और कोई चीज है जो हम कर सकते हैं? सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है हम अपने सोचने का तरीका चेंज कर सकते हैं. कभी भी हमें डर लगे तो हमें यही सोचना है कि ये डर जो है वो इमेजिनेशन है, मेरा ही क्रिएशन है. वो हमने क्यों क्रिएट किया? Because one of my friends who appeared for that exam did not pass, so how will I pass? ये बहुत बार होता है. This happens. So you don't have to compare. Again, you're comparing yourself with somebody else, which is where you're experiencing this emotion of fear. So you don't have to get into that tangent, right? हमें वो नहीं करना है. हमें क्या करना है? Focus on what you have to do. हमें अपने ऊपर focus लाना है. Bring the focus back onto yourself, the way you think. And whenever you become little fearful, ऐसे लगता है कि नहीं होगा, then you try and remember your accomplishments. Because ऐसा नहीं है ना कि हम every day हम fail होते हैं, कि एवरी डे हमारे से गलत ही होता है. देयर आर सो मेनी, हमारे हर एक के स्ट्रेंथ्स भी होते हैं. वी ऑल हैव आवर स्ट्रेंथ्स, यूनिक पॉइंट्स होते हैं जहाँ पे वी आर मच बेटर देन एनीबडी एल्स, वी नो. So whenever you come into a situation when you're going through this fear का emotion, write down what are the strengths, कौन सी चीजें, कौन सी qualities जिसमें आप बहुत अव्वल हो, you're very good at it. होते हैं, so होते हैं, but we don't remember. कि हमारा ऑटोमेटिव थिंकिंग कैसा है पता है, इट गोज ऑन टू दैट नेगेटिव थिंग. हम हमें अपनी खामियां ही दिखाने लगते हैं. सपोज हमें कोई काम करना है जिसको करने से हमें डर लग रहा है, हमें वो अपनी मेमोरी जो होती है ना, ब्रेन में एक मेमोरी पार्ट भी होता है और एक विजन पार्ट भी होता है. जो ब्रेन का जो मेमोरी पार्ट है ना, वो ही मेमोरी लाएगा. वेरी सिलेक्टिव थिंकिंग जिसको बोलते हैं. वो सिलेक्टिव, जो हमने गलत किया है ना, वो ही इंसिडेंसेस या वो ही पिक्चर्स हमारे सामने लाएगा कि आपने लास्ट टाइम भी ये करने को ट्राई किया था, आपसे नहीं हुआ था, ये टाइम भी आप कर रहे हो. तो you cannot allow that, you cannot go on like this. So you write down मेरे स्ट्रेंथ्स क्या हैं, कहाँ आपके लाइफ में बहुत अकम्पलिशमेंट्स भी हुए हैं, whether it is your personal life, your professional life. अगर आप if you are a student तो आपने कभी एग्जाम में फेल हो, बट कभी तो अच्छे भी होंगे. 10 सब्जेक्ट्स होते हैं, 10 सब्जेक्ट्स में से 3 सब्जेक्ट्स में तो यू मस्ट बी स्ट्रांग ना. तो थिंक अबाउट इट, जो आपके स्ट्रेंथ है उसके ऊपर फोकस कीजिए. When you do that, your confidence, your self-esteem comes up. And when that comes up, that fear, you will be able to control the fear. Because fear कुछ भी नहीं है, it is just an imagination. वो हकीकत में कुछ होता ही नहीं है. Fear is your creation. जैसे मैंने शुरुआत में बोला, it is our imagination of something that we don't know. It is our idea of something that may happen before, unperceived conception है हमारा. हमें अगर कुछ नया करना है, बहुत बोलते हैं fear of the unknown. People have fear of the unknown. Something that is unknown, why can't you create good thoughts about it? Why you always have to be fearful and create negative thoughts about unknown? I often find people saying that. So unknown, see, if you want to be happy, you will have to create thoughts which are happy. If you want to be at peace, you will have to create thoughts that will make you feel peaceful. So if you don't want the fear experience, if you don't want to experience that emotion, you will have to generate thoughts and think about things that will be opposite, right? Confidence वाले thoughts लेके आओ, तो आपको ये डर का जो syndrome है वो अपने आप चला जाएगा. Yes, there are few things. Some in your family, someone is undergoing some surgery or some real genuine reasons. Yeah, आपके ही some medical condition है where, but again, let me tell you that if you or your family member is in that medical situation, medical condition, or some very big surgery you're undergoing, or somebody close to you is undergoing, will creating that fear help that person? Ask that question. अपने आप को ये पूछिए. वो डर का जो हम एक लाते हैं अपने सोच, डर का जो थॉट लाते हैं, इज दैट गोइंग टू हेल्प यू इन दैट सिचुएशन? डेफिनेटली नो. आंसर तो नो ही होगा, राइट? आप कहीं आपका कोई जा रहा है, अगर आप डर क्रिएट करोगे तो एटमॉस्फेयर कैसे हो जाएगा, और आप व्हाट इज द एनर्जी दैट यू विल रेमिट टू दैट पर्सन? इट इज डेफिनेटली नॉट ऑफ द गुड क्वालिटी. So in any situation, one cannot justify that being fearful is something that I could not avoid or was not my choice. You always have a choice, how you want to think, how you want to feel. So always take a wise decision. सोच समझ के take a decision, what you want to feel. And जैसे मैंने बोला, fear के whenever you come across, you just ask few questions. अपने आप को वही questions पूछ लो आप, कि मैंने बनाया है या real है, fabricated. और मैं सच में डर रहा हूँ या मैं अपने आप को I'm just fooling myself. कभी कभी हमें कुछ काम नहीं करना होता है ना, तो भी हमें डर क्रिएट कर लेते हैं. नहीं मुझसे नहीं होगा, I will not be able to. Ask yourself, am I really scared or I'm just giving that as an excuse for not doing that task? इनएक्टिविटी के लिए भी वो एक रीजन होता है. लोगों को कभी कुछ काम नहीं करना होता ना, तो ये एक एक्सक्यूज दे देते हैं. तो अपने आप से पूछ लीजिए ये. It is very important you ask yourself and get the right answer in place. Then fear is nothing. It is, it will be just gone. चले जाएगा, it will fizzle off. So it's very easy, and of course homework करना पड़ता है. उसमें you have to put in your conscious effort and रोज का discipline लाना पड़ता है. And if you are in a situation where suddenly आपको कुछ past की, you past failures come up. You're in midst, you're in midst of a discussion, midst of a meeting, कुछ भी हो, and suddenly you past का कुछ failure आ जाता है and you just become fearful. होता है कभी कभी ऐसा लोगों के साथ. So what you need to do is just slow down and you need to pause and concentrate on your breathing. If you want, you can count 9 to 1 backwards. Come back in the present moment. Because why did you become suddenly, why did you get fearful suddenly? Because you went into the past. Or you're planning, you're thinking about your meeting outcome in the future. So bring your attention back to the present moment, and that will help you resolve all your negative emotions that you're going. Yeah. Hope all this has helped you. And one thing is, please ask the questions I've asked you next time whenever you are in a situation when you feel scared. Yeah. Have a great evening and see you soon. Bye-bye.